Let's paint a kingfisher in acrylic. I'm working on a nice long canvas to give the bird lots of looking room. We'll start with the background and work our way forward. Give the background a light spray to help the paint flow, then cover it with a layer of white. The background is pretty light, so this layer of white will save us a lot of color mixing on the palette, as we'll do all our blending and mixing at the same time on the canvas. To ensure the paint doesn't dry, mist it with water every now and again. Now let's start adding color to the background. I'm going to use sap green and cadmium yellow to get the green shadings. Pick up tiny amounts of paint on the brush at a time and work it into the white paint. Then add more of the green or the yellow to darken. On the far left, I add some raw umber to get that color. Keep all the shading smooth to ensure the background looks out of focus. Before moving on to the kingfisher, dry your background using a hairdryer. For the body, I use burnt sienna and plot in the darkest areas. Now go 2 to 3 shades lighter again and add those tonal values in, and so on. When you do this, use a chopping motion. By the time you've added all these colors, the canvas by the body area will be full and the body area will be complete. By painting like this, what we're doing is we're simulating those feathers that overlap each other. For the beak, use Payne's Grey, then add white and French ultramarine for the top beak to show the sun is reflecting off that beak. And at the tip, I've added a touch of purple. This bright reflection in the center indicates the separation between the top and the bottom beaks, so it's quite important, that one. And I've added it in with white. Now I start blocking in the blue areas of the head using cerulean. Use the same purple from the beak to block in the dark areas on the head. Now add white to the cerulean and start adding detail to the feathers on the head. Notice how I'm gradually covering the canvas with the various colors. I'm also gradually using smaller and smaller brushes at each step, because each step needs finer detail. So we need a smaller brush to do that. To get the beak and the head to meet, just carefully look to see what color goes where and simply copy what you see. This area is way too complicated to think about it or analyze what you're seeing. Just monkey see, monkey do in that area. Block in the eye with black, paint the surrounding skin, and then add the primary reflection. To complete the eye, add the secondary reflection and the sunspot. There we go, our bird can see, so you must be wondering where his wings are, so we better continue. As with the body, block in the basic colors and add tonal values using a jabbing and stabbing motion. The tip of the wing is blocked in with a very dark purple, dried using the hairdryer. Then the feathers painted with blue, making sure not to lose the dark line between each feather. Then highlight the feather with a light blue. Also add a few squiggles to the wing area to suggest individual feather tips. Where the body and the wing meet, a few of these feathers' hairs overlap the wing. Paint them in using a fine liner. Next, paint the shadows cast by the wing and the individual feathers to show their height. Now all that's left is the bird's feet, but before we can paint that, we need to paint this fence. Now this fence is pretty dilapidated, so if you look carefully you'll see it's actually made up of 2 different planks that are stuck together. But because it's all weathered and falling apart, we can see the 2 different layers. So we're going to start with the back layer. So we'll block that in with its midtone, and then we'll use highlights using a vertical motion to get that pattern of the grain of the wood running down, and then use the shadow color to show the little cracks in between each of those little panels of wood there. The next layer was added horizontally, so block in its midtone using horizontal strokes this time. Continue adding lighter and lighter horizontal strokes to this bit of the wood to create the wood effect. To add extra realism, make the pieces of the top layer cast shadows on the bottom layer. And use white to add a few sunspots. Great, now we can dry off the wood so we can paint those feet. We'll block them in with orange and we'll add shadows using a crimson color. And then we'll highlight the feet by adding white to the orange. The nails are added with black. Then I've also cast a shadow of the bird onto the fence using a light color wash. We have one more detail to paint before the kingfisher can fly away. So block in his billy goat with white and then just add a few random grey stripes to suggest that hair detail there. And there we go, we have a beautiful kingfisher. If you enjoyed this class, please like the video and comment below. To get more tutorials like this, please subscribe to our channel. I'll see you next time.